If I was a girl nowadays, like at least fall for a professional fuckboy so you get fucked over on your European vacation and you don't get fucked over at Half Price Tuesday at Applebee's.
Girls have the choice to choose to stay or no. I think I like funny guys.
We're the best, yeah. Being in a relationship with someone who will fix their problems instead of understanding that, no, actually, I need to fix my own problems so that I'm the type of person that can be in a healthy relationship. The most valuable character traits are literally a byproduct of the worst things that have happened to you in your life.
Exactly. Whenever negative things happen to me, I will actually feel blessed because it's a lesson that I have, other people don't have.
The best people in life are the people who figured out how to grow from the negative experiences.
Everything related to manifestation is about alignment. I feel happier when I'm healthy.
Welcome to Unattainable. Glad to have you with us. I'm your host, Zach Evans. And first of all, thank you to all of our listeners. We've been getting a ton of growth and engagement over the last few weeks, so we got to thank all you guys out for that. Today, we have a special guest on the podcast. This is Cornelia. Yay. Cornelia, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience, name what you do, and your star sign.
I'm Cornelia. I'm a content creator, content strategist, and I'm Sagittarius.
Sagittarius?
Yes.
Interesting.
Why is it interesting?
You guys are very fun, very bad for my mental health, let's just say that.
What's your sign?
A little bit, I don't want to say toxic, but a little bit edgy, let's just say that.
No, it's just like freedom.
I'm the best one.
The best
Smart,
one?
Smart, funny, attractive, tall. Smart, funny, and attractive. Yeah.
Tall?
Pisces. I'm Pisces.
Pisces. Oh.
So, yeah, I used to be toxic back in my villain era.
Uh-huh.
Now I'm very shy and romantic, of course, but yeah, back in the day.
What made you shift?
So, here's the thing. Back in the day, I was always a professional fuckboy.
Professional?
Nowadays you guys got these amateur fuckboys that have a bed with no headboard that they got off of Temu, and it touches two walls like a poor person bed. And to me, it's just like, I don't understand how a guy who doesn't know what a nightstand is tricking and manipulating girls to fall for all his little tricks.
Nah.
I'm like, if I was a girl nowadays, at least fall for a professional fuckboy so you get fucked over on your European vacation and you don't get fucked over at Half Price Tuesday at Applebee's.
That sounds good.
But what I never understood, actually, let me get your opinion on this. I would always be honest with girls that I was dating. I would say, hey, I'm not looking for a relationship. I don't want something exclusive. And it's like they didn't believe me. And then 3 months in, they would say, oh, why won't you commit to me? Why don't you want a relationship? And I'm like, I told you that from the beginning. I'm not even gaslighting you. You're gaslighting yourself at this point. It's like in Fight Club when he's punching himself in the face.
Oh, no. I feel like for me, it's definitely better to kind of make everything clear at the first place. So girls have the choice to choose to stay or no. But I don't know what happened to people who gave themselves probably they have probably they believe in their power to change another person.
And do you think that you can change another person, or do you think that's something that is not advisable?
I don't think you can change another people because I don't want to be changed. I'm a Sagittarius, so you
guys are stubborn.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so in your past, have you typically dated more the nice guy or more the fuckboy, or have you a little bit of both?
A little bit of both.
Move your mic a little closer to you. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So a little bit both.
So okay, this is my question for you. So when you've been in, let's say, a toxic relationship, right? What was it about him that originally drew you into that relationship? And what did you learn from that relationship going forward?
So I had one really toxic relationship, and that was actually my guy friend, for a long time, let's say 8 years. But I feel like the first, I think at the beginning, it feels like good to be friends, and I think I thought we two are like good match, and also he was like giving me a lot of hope, like we're gonna like kind of stay together for a long time, and it's gonna be a very committed relationship. But actually, he just wanted a situationship, so that feels really weird to me. And also, it's like he was like he kept giving me hope, but at the same time he was like talking down to my value, talking down to my belief. And that really made me like kind of question myself, which was really bad. So I decided to kind of leave him. But after that, I had a lot of like self-work and like a healing era where I just focus on myself, and I think that's definitely a good lesson to me.
No, it's interesting. I was gonna say, because the truth is, most people go through a toxic relationship at some point in their life. And there's two types of people, right? There's some people who become jaded and negative, and they assume every new person they date is going to be that same type of toxic. And then rarely it happens you find someone who comes out of that relationship actually more positive than they went in. It's almost like they see it as a lesson learned and something that they went through that made them into a better person. And I don't sense any negativity on you at all. You seem very unless you buried it deep down inside, but you seem like a very positive person.
Yeah,
So how did you go from the toxic relationship to figure out that part of yourself?
So I went through a lot of therapy sessions, to be honest. And also I thought a lot about like relationship between like individuals and individuals. And I think it's just like very flowy. I think like for example, me and my ex, we are not suitable like as a like in a relationship, but we are good as friends. So I kind of I spent a lot of time like thinking about it, thinking through it, and then I kind of forgave what he did to me. And I think I'm like I finally gained like power or gained strength on myself, and blaming myself, and I became independent. And after that, I was like, oh, I can forgive him, and let's just be friends again.
That's very mature of you. Was it tough to get to that point? Did it take a lot of work? Did it take a lot of figuring things out?
I think it took me about like half a year.
Okay.
But I think it was a good half year. Like at the beginning, it was like really dark because I kind of lose trust in like human beings. And also I felt very depressed. Also I didn't trust myself. But after that, I was like, oh, I have so much time on like for myself, so I can do whatever I want to do and develop hobbies like diving. And I travel a lot, and also I kind of focus on what I have. Like I have a lot of good friends that always support me. So I focus on love and positive things, and gradually like got out of that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good for you. I'm proud of you.
Yay.
So then going forward, have you had any relationships since then? Or have you just been focusing on yourself?
Focus on myself.
Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha,
I hang out with some guys, but
they weren't good enough. They didn't make the cut.
Yeah, nothing worked out.
What's your type? What is the type of guy you typically go for?
Yeah, I've been thinking about this for a long time, and I think I like funny guys.
We're the best, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, funny guys, and also kind, positive, and has passion for himself, like for like what he does.
And what about looks? Looks.
Looks, good looking.
Hot dudes.
Not too hot.
Not too hot.
Hot for me.
Yeah. Height? Does height matter?
Actually don't.
Really?
Yeah,
Even
it
if he's shorter than you?
Yeah, short hands.
Crazy. Interesting. It's interesting. So I have a friend who technically she's my ex, but she's 5'11". So like when she has like 3-inch heels on, like we're like the same height. You know what I mean? And she would always date guys taller than her. But even before me, it was mostly like NBA players, basketball players, stuff like that. And we ended up breaking up, but it was a good breakup. We're still friends. And so I give her advice about guys often now.
Advisable.
Yeah, she's always calling me, oh, Zach, blah, blah, blah. Like, this guy's... And I'm like, I told you from the beginning he was a fuckboy. I took one look at his Instagram. I'm like, this guy's a fuckboy. It's very obvious, right? But she never listens to me. So finally, she was like, Zach, I'm sick of all these fuckboys. I don't care about looks, height, anything. I just want a guy with a great personality, good connection, everything else, right? So she starts dating a guy who's like 5'7". And I meet him. Honestly, he's a cool guy, but it's just like she's like towering over him like Shrek. You know what I mean? Like she's like I watched them kiss once, and it was like the dwarves trying to conquer the mountain in Lord of the Rings. You know, it just didn't. They didn't look good as a unit. You know what I mean? And so a couple weeks later, I call her. I was like, yo, is Dave coming out tonight? And she's like, yeah, what happened about that? And I was like, what did you do? And turns out he comes over one night. She had a couple like glasses of wine, and she opens the door. She gives him a big hug, and she picks him up, and she spun him around. And she watched his little legs flail out to the side. And she was like, Zach, after that moment, I couldn't do it anymore. I got the ick.
Oh, she got the ick.
She got the ick and ended things.
I think it's cute.
Oh, jeez.
It's a baby.
I mean, it was a interesting relationship. Let's just say that. Do you typically go for more masculine guys, or do you like the kind of soft boys?
I think it doesn't matter to me, but I feel like I do prefer guys who have a little bit of feminine energy.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But not too much?
Not too much.
Not too much, okay. Interesting. Yeah, I end up in, it's kind of my fault, but I'm like to take charge in relationships. I'm somewhat of a fixer, which is good, but then I always end up dating people who need to be fixed, which can be a toxic style of relationship to be in. One girl I dated, I remember, she calls me one day, FaceTimes me, and she's like in tears. She's like super stressed. She's like, Zach, I just got in a car accident. Help, I don't know what to do. Like, what am I supposed to do? And I'm like, babe, are you okay? Like, are you hurt? Are you bleeding? And she's like, no, I'm just stressed. Like, what do I do? Like, am I supposed to get their insurance? And I'm like, babe, it's going to be okay. You're going to get out of the car. You're going to take a video of the damages. You're going to get their insurance. You're going to get a police report, and insurance is going to handle everything. It's going to be okay. So she calms down, and she gets out of the car, and there's another girl getting out of the other car, and she's on the phone with her dad, freaking out in tears. She's like, I don't know what to do. So they just take the phones and they put them together, and I'm literally talking in speakerphone to her dad through the phones. So it was an interesting experiment, let's just say that.
So are you like a dad type of guy in the relationship?
I prefer the term daddy.
Daddy.
But, yeah.
Oh my God.
It's more so that...
Do you prefer being in the daddy role, or...
I prefer taking charge, let's just say that.
Okay.
Let's just say that. Because I know that if I do something, that I'm going to do it right and I'm reliable. The other person, I don't know. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. I'm also very old school with that. My dad raised me very chivalrous, right? So, Zach, son, if you take a girl on a date, you're paying for it. None of these splitsies, none of these, what he used to say, No, don't be a broke liberal arts student who can't afford to buy a girl dinner. You know what I mean? Like that was like his thing. So, you know, if I'm walking on the sidewalk, like I'm walking on the car side. So, you know, if a car comes, stop the car with one hand, protect my girl with the other hand. You know, man shit, you know? So because of that, I've always felt like I'm in charge of dealing with problems, right? I don't think that's the girl's responsibility. I think if a girl wants to take care of problems, cool, but I don't think it's her responsibility. Does that make sense?
That's nice. That's actually rare.
I feel like it's rare nowadays. I think the Gen Zs are fucking everybody up. Too much iPads and Tide Pods as a kid, you know? Yeah. So you find it, you don't find guys like that typically. You don't find guys who are very masculine and very chivalrous typically?
I mean, like, yeah. Why?
Well, you said it's rare nowadays.
Yeah, it's rare nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like, why?
Interesting. How old are you? You're very confusing.
Guess.
Well, you seem like you're mid-30s.
Mid-30s.
Based on your conversation skills, your personality. You're a good conversationalist, but you look like you're like 19 with a fake ID.
That's a lot of. I
don't know whether to talk about like psychology and investing or like flip over the water bottle and post it on TikTok, you know.
I heard it a lot, but I'm actually 27.
27? Yeah. No way.
Yeah.
What,
Asian
just
jeans.
A bunch of yoga and Botox or what? What's the secret?
Skincare.
Nice. So, what's the oldest and youngest you've dated in relation to your age at the time?
The youngest.
Like how many years younger was he, or older was he than you at the time?
I think it's, 3 years younger.
Interesting.
And then I dated someone who's in his 30s.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I would have thought it would be higher actually.
Really?
Yeah. So it's interesting. I used to own a company in the modeling industry. And it was so interesting. We started seeing this pattern where when a new model would come into the agency or whatever, we called it hot guy phase because she would always be dating some young hot guy. These guys looked exactly like each other. They were like clones. They had the little TikTok hair. They had the little dangly earring they got off of TikTok shop. You know what I mean? Like 6-pack abs, like super attractive. But then you talk to them and it's like the 9 brain cells rattling around with their skull. They were sharing them with their friend or something because they had nothing. Like there's just nothing up here. Like, it was, like, you know when you're talking to somebody and it feels like you're talking but they're not registering what you're saying. It was like that. You know what I mean? But the crazy part is the most beautiful models of the industry in the agencies, the real stunners, the 10 out of 10s that would get invited to Paris and London and everything. Even by the time they were 21, 22, they would always be with like some normal looking guy. Like some guy that like, if he like dropped off your UPS package, you'd be like, oh, makes sense. But they would always be extremely charismatic or successful, ambitious, right? And typically 10, 15 years older. And it's almost like they got bored of like staring at the 6-pack and talking about nothing. And they needed something that was intellectually stimulating.
Definitely.
You feel the same way?
I mean, I don't care about the age, but I kind of believe in the connection. And if we vibe together and we can like kind of experience a lot of things together and be very adventurous together, that would be my type.
I see.
Yeah.
And so what are the things you look for in a relationship with a guy? Like, what are the things you've kind of learned about yourself in terms of what type of relationship, not what type of guy you like, but what type of relationship you like?
I think it's like very mutually supportive. Like, can focus. We have our own lives, and also we have our own things to do. We can be whole as an individual, but we are like kind of better together. That's the type of relationship I'm looking for.
So you're a very independent person.
Yeah. I need a lot of solo trips.
You seem like you are. Yeah, you seem like you are. It's interesting because a lot of people use this phrase where they say, my partner completes me, or my partner is my other half. And I actually don't like that phrase because it makes it seem like you're incomplete without them. And I think that's when people end up in these codependent relationships where they think being in a relationship with someone will fix their problems, instead of understanding that, no, actually, I need to fix my own problems so that I'm the type of person that can be in a healthy relationship.
Yeah, exactly. So I think everyone who probably thinks that way need to go through a hard relationship to realize that. And then they can kind of complete themselves and attract healthy relationships.
Yeah, I always think about it like if I'm going through a tough time or a tough relationship, it's like if you were creating a human being from scratch, right, like in The Sims or something, and you wanted to make him confident and tough and independent, what would you do? Well, you probably wouldn't give him a chill life, right? You'd probably put 100 challenging times and tough relationships in his way and force him to overcome these obstacles. So it's like we all want these valuable character traits of confidence and toughness and resilience. Cool. But then it's like, why are we complaining when life gets tough? Right? Because it's like the most valuable character traits are literally a byproduct of the worst things that have happened to you in your life.
Exactly.
So it's almost like the investment you're making in yourself to become the type of person that you want to be.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree with you. That's why I feel like whenever like negative things happen to me, I will actually feel blessed because it's a lesson that I have, other people don't have. So, and also it like kind of helped me to experience things that I have never experienced before. So I can like kind of learn something or get something out of that.
Yeah, I think it's the best people in life are the people who figured out how to grow from their negative experiences. You know?
Yeah.
So let's talk manifestation. That's a good segue into that. How do you feel about manifestation?
I think I totally believe in it, but it's not like in a woo way. I think it's a very scientific. It has a very scientific, like way to explain it. So I think like everything related to manifestation is about alignment. And I think the most important thing is to kind of find your authentic code, like what you really like to do or what makes you feel really excited when you were young before the society programs you. So once you find it and you can develop your goals out of that, so the goals align with your true self and everything will just flow. But like sometimes people may like kind of have the goals that are actually not aligned with their true self, and it's actually probably like expectations from their family or from the society. And in that way it's gonna be very tough. It's so I don't think it's only the manifestation, it's only about visualization to feel like to feel you are in that moment when you like achieve everything. But I think it's or about like finding who you are and what you really want to achieve.
Interesting. Okay, so like for you, for example, right? What was the thing that as a kid you were excited about, and then how did that translate to what you do today, or what you've manifested in your life?
Oh, so I actually did a little bit of self-work or workshop, and I found out my authentic code is connection, impact, experience, and expansion. And when I was young, I really loved to travel with my parents. And whenever I visit a place, I love to connect with people. I love to talk to people, even though back then I didn't speak English really well, and I want to connect with people. I have like the eager to like talk to people, like to learn about their stories and to learn about their experiences, and I also like to try a different type of things and to explore the city. And I care about social issues. I did a lot of like projects back in my little city. I'm from a small city in China. It's called Wenzhou. And did a lot of animal protection projects with my friends. I just feel like I feel happier when I'm helping people, when I'm creating value. So I think like when I grow up and I just keep doing what keeps me happy, like sharing my travel experiences and like kind of helping small business to find their community through my platform. And I just kept doing that before like I really enter like content creation journey. So I just keep doing what I love to do, and my account just blew up, and everything like kind of flows
from there.
Yeah, from there. And I got to meet my favorite creators, and I got to collaborate with them, and I had a lot of opportunities to work with my favorite brands, and I also attract a little bit press and magazines. So I think I didn't really think about that. I just focus on the present, focus on like what makes me happy.
Good for you. and something interesting that you said that I picked up on was you said, you know, people are passionate about something as a kid, and then society kind of pushes you out of that passion. So what did you feel like society was pushing you out of, or how was society impacting your natural passion? You know what I mean?
So actually, like I actually lost the feeling of like the magical feeling of attracting everything when like last year. So last year
Okay, so recently.
yes. So I think it's very interesting because I experienced the highs, like the high energy feelings, and also experience the low energy feelings, and now I just like kind of drag myself back up. So that was a really interesting experience. So last year I was like kind of I worked for a corporate, and I spent a lot of time in China, like Shenzhen. But in that city, I feel like a lot of people believe in the same things, but that type of thing are very different from my value. And in that environment, I kind of feel like I kind of doubt what I achieved. Like people there believe like in a certain age you have to achieve like certain things. A lot of things are material, and I kind of like follow them, and I think I do a lot of things that makes me look good, but that's not really what I want.
So in terms of a career path that's more set in stone, or do you mean your grades, or what do you mean what's something that you felt like was pushing you the wrong direction?
I think.
Or what was you should be doing this?
Oh, for example, I should have a stable stable relationship and gradually form a family, and then just like stay in a very stable like job.
Work that job 60 years and then die.
And then and then just climb the corporate ladders. And I think I actually have conversations with myself like, is that what you want? And the answer is no.
Yeah, I grew up in Wisconsin, very small town as well, and I feel very similar, where everybody in Wisconsin never leaves, never goes and travels, works at the same factory that my dad worked at, and work doubles at the dirt factory until I'm 60, and then get married to whoever I'm dating after high school. You just married whoever you happen to be dating. And it's so crazy. I went back and visited some of my old high school friends, and it was an interesting conversation because we're all sitting around and they're all, Zach, when are you going to get married? When you're going to miss your boat? You're getting too old, whatever. And later on in the conversation, I asked one of them, I said, what's your best day? Like, what if you could have any day in the world, what would you do? And he goes, yeah, my wife takes the kids, she hangs out with her mom, and then I just like play poker with the boys and watch the game, have a beer. And I remember thinking, like, your greatest day of existence, I can do every single day of my life. I'm like, that's your best day? But that's how it is in Wisconsin. It's just like, and they're all going to the same bowling alley we went to when I was like in high school. You know what I mean? That's like bizarre. It's like some people you just want to like push out of there, like shake them and like go try sushi for once. You know what I mean? It's like, it's crazy. It's very,
yeah, I know.
But I think it takes a certain personality type to say, nah, fuck this. I'm going to do what I want to do. And I'm going to fucking make it work. So let's go.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, some people love stability. That's why they stay. But people who have the courage to live and who have the courage to achieve their own stuff, that's really amazing.
Have you heard of primary driver emotions?
What is that?
Okay, this is one of the most misunderstood things that could really help people become more self-aware of why they're not happy. So people think that they want happiness, but happiness isn't actually an emotion. It's an umbrella term that covers excitement, contentment, joy, all of these emotions that we call happiness. When in reality, there's two main primary driver emotions. There's actually four, but majority of the people fall into two. There's contentment, which is the emotion of I wake up, everything's good. I go out on my porch and the sky is so blue and the birds are chirping and I'm just going to sit on my porch and enjoy the life, right? And some people are driven by contentment and they don't like stress. They don't like travel. They don't like these things that what's going to happen? Oh no, right? The second most common is excitement. And these are the people that say, I'm fucking bored sitting at my house watching the birds fly around and I need to go do something, and what if this happens, and what if I could build this business and all of a sudden we're making this money, and it's that excitement that drives them. And a lot of people don't understand that they're trying to chase the wrong one. And so maybe they see everybody else in their small town chasing contentment and they think that will bring them happiness, when in reality for them their primary driver emotion is excitement, but the fear that's been drilled into them by all the contentment people is holding them back from achieving true happiness in what they want to achieve.
Interesting. I think I'm between those two. Like
you're in between.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I can enjoy like little joys, little happiness, but I also have the excitement to achieve more than that. But I'm okay with like small, like those type of things also make me happy.
I do think if I had to read you, I do think excitement is your primary and contentment would be your secondary. But you know what is interesting? Is, you know what? Want to know my first impression of you?
What is that?
So seeing your Instagram, right? And then you come in, you're very confident, you have a nice smile, you're bubbly, you're friendly, you're warm. And that is one side of your personality. But the more I get to talk to you, it feels like you still have your walls up a little bit, and not in a way that's rude or mean, but in a way that's almost a little bit careful, in terms of almost like you seem like you understand that there's a fine line between being warm and open and friendly, but also potentially being walked all over or taken advantage of or something like that. Do you think that's true?
Could you repeat like walk over and
Yeah, on one hand,
that's
it's good to
interesting.
be very warm and friendly, right? But on the other hand, if you're too warm and friendly, you could be taken advantage of, or people use you in some way, or take, use your kindness for weakness. And it can be very easy to end up in situations where it's not fair for you because you are an empathetic person.
Yeah, that I've actually experienced it a lot. Like also lately, I'm trying to like work on a certain like part of the friendship. Um, and that's what I want to talk. And that's very interesting that you actually feel that, and also you sense that. So I like, oh, it's hard to talk about this,
Yeah.
but yeah, I've never talked about this in public before, but I think I like I used to truly like enjoy helping people, and that really make me happy. But I like I like kind of experiencing a relationship that made me kind of feel a little bit traumatized. So there's a girl that she like we used to be like very close to each other, and I think she has really good content, but like her account was like never like blow up or never being seen by more people. So I was like, oh, we can collab with each other because back then I've already in like doing Instagram a little bit. So I was like, oh, we can collab with each other so people can see your account, see how like good your content is. So I did a lot of collaborations with her and also introduced her with. Back then, she also told me that she didn't have like good friends in New York. So I was like, oh, I have a lot of loving friends and they're so supportive, they're so good. So I can introduce you to them. And after that, I left New York and she did really well on like Instagram later. So I was really happy for her and I was really proud as well. But when I left New York, and I like a couple of months later, and my close friend told me that she was like, oh, she could like kind of be here at this stage without me. So and also she didn't like me saying like I was like I feel grateful that I helped her. So she said it's all because of her without like it's nothing about me. So I was like a little bit hurt back then.
I bet.
And yeah, yes, I feel hurt and I feel like that made me question a little bit about like friendship. And also like when I moved back to New York and I feel like she's like kind of always asking my best friends out but excluding me. So it's like I never got invited. So that really made me feel a little bit uncomfortable. And also like there was a time that I questioned my worth and I questioned like was I like am I not good enough for her now? Because she did really well on like content creation area, and that was not a good experience for me. But later I did more conversations with myself, and I was like, and I realized one thing that I can keep being open and I can keep like helping people because the like the action of helping people make me happy. But I just need to be more cautious on like who I spend my time with and who I can trust, and I should also trust myself on like the ability of like filtering people in my life. Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense. That sounds like a very challenging thing to go through emotionally,
Yeah,
you know.
it is.
Do you feel like it stemmed mostly from her like jealousy, or what do you think was the biggest reason for?
I actually have no idea, and I don't think it's my, and I don't think I should spend time or effort thinking about that, because it's all about me, and I have the choice of choosing who to stay in my life, and if that things hurt, if she hurts me, I just like let her, and I can choose my own friends and can choose what I can learn from this experience.
Good for you.
Okay.
It kind of connected me, the way you told that story, because so when I was in high school and middle school, right, I was very shy and awkward. My parents were very strict, and we didn't have money. So, you know, I'd wear my cousin's hand-me-downs. They'd be like 3 sizes too big because, you know, my cousins were kind of big. And so we always got made fun of in school. So freshman year of high school, I didn't have any friends, right? And I was kind of lonely. I was kind of a little sad about it, you know? And then there was this new kid to our school. His name was Nate. And he was new to the school, so he didn't have any friends. I didn't have any friends. So we like clicked instantly. And we would eat lunch together. We'd like go play video games. Like we'd have sleepovers, like all that kind of stuff. And it was like the first time in my life that I just really just remember feeling happy.
Oh, that's
Just
nice.
like I'd wake up excited for school and like, oh, me and Nate are going to talk and like, you know, talk about people in the lunchroom and whatever, you know, it'd be fun. But then one day, it was around like winter time, one of the football players started this rumor that we're gay.
Oh my God.
And back then it wasn't like cool. Now kind of gay is kind of like trendy and like cool, but like back then being gay was not like cool, right? Now in my mind I was like, who cares what some stupid football player thinks of us? I know that we're just friends and like that isn't going to let me like stop my friendship. But I felt Nate kind of like pulling away a little bit. And similar things, like he kind of stopped inviting me places. You know, he'd always be busy, like things like that. And the moment it hit me was the first lunch after winter break. So I come back to school, I get my tray, I'm sitting in at our usual table in the back right corner of the lunchroom, right? And I see Nate from across the lunchroom with his little tray, and he looks at me and I see him make eye contact, and then he like looks away really quickly.
Aww.
And then he goes and like sits next to like some other kids, right?
That hurt.
And it was like this combination of, number one, just feeling like so like hurt that he would do that to me. But then on top of that, I just got this like overwhelming anxiety that everybody was going to see me eating lunch by myself. And this was first year of high school. So you have like seniors in the lunchroom, you know, and you want to look cool. And then I thought everybody was going to see me eating alone. So I stood up and I started like walking around the lunchroom for like people to sit by. And I was like so nervous. I was like shaking, walking down the little aisles. And I snaked around the entire lunchroom, kind of like looking for someone to sit and kind of being too scared to sit down. And finally at the last table, when I had no more space to walk, I was like, well, I guess I have to sit here. So I was like, hey, like, is anybody sitting here? And they all kind of like stop talking and kind of like look at me. And they're like, no, you're good. And so I sit there. And it's not like they said anything that was mean or rude, but you could just tell the entire vibe was like, why is this random dude sitting at our table? You know what I mean? And it was just so painfully awkward. And I sat at that table for 2-3 days. And then finally I couldn't take it anymore. And I just went and kind of sat alone for the rest of the semester. And the crazy part is, to this day, if I like go to a party where I like don't know a lot of people and I like haven't like started drinking and stuff, when I walk into the party and I don't know anybody, it's like it brings me back to that same feeling in the lunchroom.
Definitely.
Where I'm like walking around, I'm like, fuck, who do I talk to? And like I get this like social anxiety that's like I to this day I can't shake it. Like I've gotten a lot better at managing it, but I still like feel this like weird social anxiety where now I'm like good, I'm successful, whatever, like I know how to talk, but I still get it. I can't shake it. It's so weird.
I can definitely feel you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, through your stories.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you find it easy or difficult to make friends in LA and New York?
Difficult. I think New York, it's like you have a lot of chance to meet new people, but like it's very hard for like to get close to people. But I think in LA, I think everything's spread out. It's hard to meet people, but once you meet like the right person, and or the right person will introduce you to a friend circle, and that's gonna be really like stable, I think.
Yeah, it's interesting. I never understood. I think it's very difficult for girls in LA to meet female friends. I think for guys it's much easier.
Really?
I remember the first really beautiful girl I ever dated. I remember from the outside looking in, especially being from Wisconsin, it seemed like she had, the easiest life ever. Oh, she goes to private jet here, she gets flown out to Tulum, free dinners, bottle service, all this kind of thing. But it's interesting because when I saw her life close up, I realized that it's like she never knew what guys wanted to help her and what guys secretly just wanted to sleep with her. And even worse, what girls had her back and what girls were secretly jealous and preying on her downfall.
Oh
And
no, that was so bad.
I just saw like she had so much stress and anxiety behind the scenes. And I remember thinking like, yeah, like it looks great from the outside and there's a lot of advantages, but at the same time, like nobody really knows what you're going through and nobody can really understand it because they just see your life as everything's great all the time. And look, this amazing trip and everything's sunshine and rainbows. But a lot of people don't know like how difficult it can be.
Yeah, definitely. I think this happens to a lot of people doing social media too. Like, because you don't want to like post negative things online. You want to spread positivity or just like good life. Like everyone's like that actually. It's not only content creators or influencers. It's like most of people in life. So I think, yeah, social media is not all about the life. Like everyone has their own struggles and everyone has their a lot of things to go through. So just focus on the self. Don't compare.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's we've gotten to the point also where just everything is fake anyway. It's like every picture you see is face tuned to the max. You actually look like your Instagram.
Oh really? But I use FaceApp.
You do use FaceApp.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm
You
like,
must not crank it to level 10 then. You must just crank it a little bit, you know?
I actually like recommend FaceApp to a lot of my creator friends. They all love it.
Interesting.
Yeah, they should pay me. They should sponsor me.
Yeah, hey, FaceApp, hit us up.
FaceApp.
Let's go.
But thank you.
Yeah, and of course you see the most glamorous pieces of everybody's life. You see every time they travel, you see every great thing that happens to them, and most people don't post the bad things, the boring parts, the parts of struggling and working hard. I'm sure the content creation journey isn't always fun. I'm sure it's a lot of hard work. I'm sure it's a lot of behind the scenes things to make the videos do well. Am I right?
Yeah. Definitely need to spend a lot of time at it, and also if like starting to, because I recently like kind of do content creation full time, and I did all the brand deals like negotiations by myself, and it's kind of it's not as easy as I thought. So and also you need to always keep up your energy to post consistently but also at the same time you want to be as authentic as possible.
Yeah, it's a weird mix because it's like, as a content creator, you are creating entertainment for people. So even on this podcast, right? There's some days I'm just fucking tired, right? And there's also some guests that are very difficult to talk to. Like, you're pretty easy to talk to. But there's some guests I'm just like, I can't get anything that's intriguing or interesting out of them, which means I have to do all the talking. And when I'm tired and I have to be entertaining, it's a lot more difficult, right? And so to some extent you feel a little bit fake because you have to put on this front of like being extra. But it's like, okay, what am I just going to have a boring fucking podcast and then everybody listens is like, well, this sucks, you know? Or yeah, you have to be a little bit fake and like put on this face and like hype yourself up to make the podcast better. It's like, it is what it is at some point.
Yeah. I think, just for the audience.
Yeah.
For the audience.
And so content creation, getting into it, what did your parents think about that?
Oh, at first they were like super against it because my parents are very traditional, and they want me to like kind of keep doing the corporate job or later helping the family business, but like it was at the beginning, but later I kind of proved them that that's actually a thing, and I kind of educate them and communicate with them like this is a new industry, and it's also like there's a lot of thing you can play around with in that area, and also there are a lot of opportunities out there, so they kind of like let me go, just let me explore. But they were not, they are not like, they don't 100% support this career.
Even now, when you're successful.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But they were like, oh, you do your own thing.
Okay.
You are responsible for yourself. So that's the situation.
It's interesting though. Like, I would understand a parent being worried before your career was successful. Oh, what if she never makes it? What if she never blows up? She never figures out how to make money off this or something. But it surprises me that even after, it's like, hey, look, guys, I'm successful. Look what I'm doing. They're still a little concerned about it.
Yeah, because it's not as stable as like what they say. Because I think they are really looking for stability. And also my mom think that happiness comes from stability. That's why we had a lot of conversations together, and I have to like explain to her that like our definitions of happiness are different. And then she gradually understand that.
Yeah, my parents were I remember I switched my major to music. I do music full time on
cool.
YouTube.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah, I have a bunch of channels. And when I switched my major to music, I remember I called my mom. I'm like, hey mom, I'm so passionate about music. Like, I'm sitting in math class and all I can think about is practicing piano. And practicing is the boring part. And I'm just like so pumped to even go practice. Like, I have to see where this takes me. And I remember there's just this long pause on the phone. And she goes, are you sure this is what you want to do? And I'm like, 100%. And I was so lucky to have parents that from that day forward 100% supported everything that I did.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah.
Congrats.
But they were concerned, but they still were like, hey, like, we believe in you. And I feel like that's so huge.
Yeah, that's
important.
very powerful.
Yeah.
When you feel like you are you're supported, and then you're loved, and that makes it's like a invisible hand that kind of hug you in a way.
Yeah, it's interesting. So they did a study on the most successful people ever, right? And the parenting styles were typically the mom was extremely supportive and caring, and I will love you no matter what you do. And typically the dad is very, hey, let's get shit done. Almost like you really have to work for his approval. Like he doesn't give you that love for no reason. You have to earn it. And they said it's interesting because it forces you to push to get the approval of your dad, but you have the safety net of your mom still loving you. So you have the support you need, but you also have like the fire to go for the difficult thing.
That's a good balance.
Yeah, I agree. My dad was super old school growing up. So I remember I fell off my bike one time and like, skinned up my knee. And I come in the house, Daddy, my knee's bleeding. I remember he just looked at me. He goes, good thing you're tough. Just walks away. But
so
ironically, it taught me an important lesson that was kind of like, hey, Zach, you're a man. There are going to be challenges in life. You're going to get hurt sometimes. You have to learn to deal with this yourself, because the truth is, as a man, nobody is coming to save you. You know what I mean? Like as a girl, ideally, you figure out how to save yourself. But if you don't, you can find a guy who will save you. But if you're a man, nobody is coming to your rescue. You have to learn how to do it yourself. And I think that's underappreciated in today's kind of parenting styles where everybody's, a little Gen Z. Let's go ride bird scooters and talk about your feelings.
I'm Gen Z.
Oh, Jesus Christ, here we go. All y'all know is TikTok, bird scooters, charging your phone, flaming hot Cheetos.
Feelings are important.
And what's the Wi-Fi code?
What's the Wi-Fi code?
I just think, I feel like feelings are overrated.
Overrated?
Very overrated.
Why?
Because I think a lot of times spirituality and inner work and healing and all these things can be a conduit for emotional avoidance disguised as healing. Because the truth is, as a man, right? If you have anxiety, the reason is because you suck. That's the truth. Like if you have anxiety about money, you either suck at making money or you spend all of your money and you don't have discipline, right? If you have anxiety about relationships, you either suck at communication, you suck at reading people, or you can't spot a red flag at a Chinese New Year parade, right? Like that is the truth. And so a lot of people, instead of facing their problems, they'll go, close their eyes and hum to the universe like a moron in the corner of their room and scribble in their $400 gratitude journal how they're worthy, instead of looking in the mirror and telling your inner child, shut the fuck up, bitch, I run shit. Telling the universe, go fuck yourself. I'm going to clock in and I'm going to go to the gym. And when I'm struggling to lift that weight, my inner child's going to be my spotter. And he's going to be whispering in my ear. And you know what he's going to say? He's going to say, Zach, don't be weak like last time. Then you fucking lift the weight. As a man, like I don't understand what it's like to be a girl. I know you guys have like twice the hormones we do. So when you feel an emotion, you feel it like 20 times stronger than we do, right? But I think there needs to be more of that attitude in men today where it's like, yeah, maybe we should bring back a little bit of bullying. Like just a little bit of like, yeah, sometimes you need to be like pushed around a little bit to like toughen you up.
Yeah, I feel like you can still like, you can push around, but you can still like keep the feeling or deal with the feeling. And I think, for example, like anxieties are more like a signal. So you know like what you need to look at within yourself. And then you can fix that.
Okay, let me ask you this.
It's a good thing to have.
Let's say you're dating a guy. Actually, let's up the stakes. Let's say you're married to a guy. You guys have a couple kids, whatever. He comes home one day. He's like, baby, I lost my job today. I got fired. Would you rather have the guy who you come home the next day and he's, sitting on the couch with a glass of wine, watching reruns of Love is Blind. Babe, oh, my boss, what do we do? Where? And then the whole week you're coming home, oh, I don't know what to do. The life is so hard. Or do you want the guy who comes home, babe, I got fired, and then he takes his emotions and he stuffs them deep down in his psyche, and then he says, all right, it's time to man up. It's time to clock in, and we're going to start that business that we've been talking about for the last 3 years, and I'm going to wake up at 6 a.m. every day and make this money so I can support my family. Which one would you rather have?
Neither of them.
Neither.
Yeah, I feel like I think it's important to talk about feelings, but it's not. But you shouldn't be like you shouldn't stuck in the feeling, but you should be able to talk about the feelings. But and then you can take actions to fix it. But if you like kind of buried all the emotions deep down, and I believe one day it will kind of burst out.
I believe in talking about emotions in like a logical way. Kind of like, have you heard, the love languages?
Oh, the 5 love languages.
Yeah. Have you heard of the fight languages?
No.
Okay, nobody knows about these, and they're way more important than the love languages. Like,
how did you know that?
Okay, so I'm really smart, and yeah, I read a lot. Yeah. I don't understand how you guys just go into relationships just winging it, just raw dogging relationships. Like, oh, I hope this works out. Don't do any research on any of this shit. All right, so okay. Similar to love languages, there's 5 fight languages. Officially, they're called conflict archetypes, right? So the first one, and you have to know which one you are and also which one you have the most difficulty communicating with.
Oh, interesting.
So the first one is the venter. And this is the person who gets very emotional and they raise their voice and they're yelling at you. And the good thing is they're very honest about what they feel. They're not hiding anything. You know exactly what they think, right? But of course, the downside is you might feel like they're attacking you or they're pushing you away in a sense. The second type is the processor. So these are the opposite, the people who say, I don't want to fight right now. I just need some space and I need to just process everything. And the problem is, if you say that to a venter and you leave the room, the venter will feel like you're leaving because you don't care about the relationship, when in reality, you actually care so much about the relationship that you don't want to say something that you can't take back and might ruin it. And you want to think about it first, right? The third type is the fixer. This is the most mature fight style. This is my fight style. It's the best one. And these are the people who they're like, okay, this happened. Very logical. Let's get to the root of the problem and let's fix the problem so it doesn't happen again. Now, the problem with fixers is oftentimes they don't understand that if you're dealing with an emotional person, before you even tell them how you're going to fix the problem, you have to make them understand that you understand what they're feeling and you have to validate their emotions first. Otherwise, they won't even listen to you.
Yeah.
Fourth type is the martyr. So these are the people who instantly take all the blame. And they say, I'm so stupid. Yes, it's my fault. Stupid. And they take all the blame. Now, the good thing is they end the fight really fast because they just take the blame themselves. But the problem is they don't actually fix the problem. And so they oftentimes will continue to build more and more resentment until eventually that kind of like pops off.
Yeah.
Then fifth type is the freezer. So these are people with very high anxiety. And when there's conflict, they're very uncomfortable with it. So they will stay there and kind of be frozen, but their brain is 400 miles away and doesn't want to deal with the problem. Those are the freezers.
That's me.
That's you. Interesting. The freezers are the ones I have the most difficulty dealing with, actually. And why do you think you're a freezer, or what's going on in your mind?
Because I don't really like conflict. I would choose to walk away if there's a conflict going on.
Typically, freezers are very sensitive and very empathetic. And it's because they care more about the other person than they do about the fight. And because of that, they're not comfortable with the fight because they feel like they don't want to lose the other person.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing that you want to do if you're dealing with somebody is you have to explain to them. You almost have to become a processor and say, hey, look, I care about you. I'm just feeling really anxious right now. I'm feeling really nervous about this. So I just need some time to kind of think through everything. And then you can come back and kind of have a conversation about it. Which type do you have the most difficulty dealing with?
I actually don't know. Maybe the first one.
That's typically what your type has the hardest with because they're very loud and scary.
Yeah, I'm
They're scarier than the other ones.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But I think I'm working on that.
What about love language? What's your love language? Do you know the 5?
Remind me of the 5 love
So there's
language.
physical touch,
quality
time, acts of service, so doing things for your partner, gifts, and then words of affirmation, so compliments essentially.
I think quality time is the most important, and then act of service, and then what is that? Gift giving.
They say gift giving is the red flag one.
And then later it's
physical touch.
Physical touch.
And acts of service.
Oh no, I've already mentioned acts of service. Words of affirmation.
Yeah. Compliments.
Yeah.
Interesting. I could see you as quality time. You seem like you'd be that type. You seem like you'd be the quality time type.
Yeah. Experience.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. Well, we are about out of time. Let's do a couple of rapid fire questions at the end. Favorite first date spot or activity?
Favorite first date? It's a hard question because I have so many
What are
spots in my mind.
a couple of your top ones? What are a couple of your top?
I like food, so definitely a good restaurant. And then also I love to chase sunset.
Oh, sunset, yeah.
Yeah, so a good sunset watching spot would work as well.
With wine and
blanket
and everything.
That's cute.
What do you think about like hiking and that kind of thing?
Hiking? I love it.
You love hiking?
Yeah, I love nature. So either nature or food.
Okay, interesting. Actually, that's the next question. Best restaurant or food that you like?
It's really hard.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of them on my belly. But right now, on top of that, in New York City, it's not 17. It's a omakase spot.
It's called Not 17?
Nos 17.
Oh, Nos 17.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Interesting.
That's really good.
Next travel destination or place you want to go but you haven't visited yet?
So many places. I'm so indecisive. But I think I will say, is it called Belize or?
Belize, yeah.
Yeah, Belize.
South America?
Yeah.
I've been all over South America.
Oh,
not
cool.
Belize yet, but I've been Peru, Brazil, Argentina, Colombia. Yeah.
Which one is your favorite?
Colombia by far.
Why?
So the people in Colombia are very kind, romantic, friendly, love Americans. So when you go to Colombia, right? Like all the girls are always like, oh, mi corazón, mi amor. She's like, my love, my heart. It's like if you're a white dude with blue eyes in Colombia, they just love you for no reason. Like I could just walk up and like be the most awkward person and they just still love you.
Oh.
But no, I just like it for the culture and everything, yeah.
For the girls.
No, I've dated a couple Colombian girls and it's good news until it's not. It's very it's like a roller coaster. It's like a roller coaster, you get the highs but then you get the lows too.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Experience.
Yeah,
fullest.
Yeah. Why? What ethnicity do you typically date?
Asian.
All Asian?
Not all Asian.
Okay, that's your normal type.
Yeah, I think the majority of them are Asian. Probably it's
Okay.
because I live in the Asian community, and then yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I feel like it's because I don't really reach out, or I don't proactively looking for a relationship, or
Mm-hmm.
so I just like kind of choose from whoever reach out to me.
And you just happen to have more Asian people that you hang out with, so it's just a numbers game. It's statistics at that point.
Yeah, I think it just happened.
I see. Awesome. Well, this has been fun. Any social media shout outs you want to give to the audience?
Social media.
Yeah. Do you want to shout out your Instagram or TikTok or anything?
Oh yeah. Guys, like family, everyone follow me on Instagram. It's DAIYINCHI. Also have a TikTok, but I don't post on that platform very often. But if you want, you can follow me at BOOMBANILLA. It's a stupid name.
We'll put it in the description.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, this has been fun. We'll have to do round 2 sometime.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Thanks for listening.